At the age of 26, Friedrich Wilhelm Nietzsche, a German philosopher and professor at the University of Basel, found himself at the crossroads of two antagonistic forces shaping the modern world: the Latin and Germanic spirits. It was a time of profound upheaval. The echoes of cannon fire from Frashwelle and Forbach reverberated from the Rhine as the Franco-Prussian War raged. Soldiers on the battlefield sought to resolve the very questions that had preoccupied German educators since the time of Napoleon. These questions centered on philosophical depth, music, and morality, which were now poised to reshape Europe and purge German thought of indulgence, romanticism, and intellectual escapism. Nietzsche, initially hesitant, found himself swept up in the tide of German victory. He served as a volunteer ambulance driver during the Metz campaign, transporting wounded soldiers to Karlsruhe, enduring illness and recovering under the care of his mother in Naumburg. He embraced those trials without a complaint, as if compelled by a higher cause. For Nietzsche, the conflict was a holy war that dispelled negation, affirming the vitality of the German spirit. It was during this turbulent time that Nietzsche's philosophical awakening took shape. The seeds of a tragic worldview were already sown within him. He had carried Arthur Schopenhauer's work for 5 years, absorbing the philosopher's view of existence as an interplay of will and nothingness. His encounter with Richard Wagner, after an electrifying performance of the master singers, reinforced his belief in art as a solace for those who rejected the comforting illusions of morality and religion. Wagner inspired Nietzsche to see art as a force capable of addressing existential despair. As Germany prepared for the climactic battles that would redefine its national identity, Nietzsche delved into the primordial essence of ancient Greece during his first year as a professor. Beneath the surface of the Pyrrhiclean optimism, he discovered a darker reality: warlike horrors, unsettling myths, and unflinching, cruel philosophy. He became convinced that the ancient Greeks, in their embrace of tragedy, had confronted and transcended the abyss of existence. For Nietzsche, this Greek spirit found a modern heir in Germany, which was asserting its supremacy both materially and morally through war and the artistic genius of Wagner. Nietzsche believed Germany's cultural resurgence echoed the ancient world triumphs. He likened the force of Luther's carols to the primal call of Dionysus, heralding a synthesis of Germanic strength and spiritual renewal. From Bach to Beethoven and Wagner, a lineage of artistic expression had preserved the essence of this Dionysian call. Wagner, Nietzsche argued, was the tragic poet Germany needed, one who could channel the despair of the purposeless existence into music that offered oblivion and transcendence. In Nietzsche's seminal work, The Birth of Tragedy, he outlined this vision. The Greeks, much like the Germans, had needed tragedy. They achieved it through the union of two opposing forces: Dionysus, representing sensual ecstasy and the annihilation of the individuality, and Apollo, symbolizing intellectual order and the affirmation of the self. Together, these forces created a fleeting harmony, embodied in the tragic drama of Aeschylus. Tragedy, Nietzsche argued, was born from the collision of Dionysian intoxication with Apollonian clarity. The Greek chorus, embodying Dionysian wisdom, stood in stark contrast to the heroic figures who symbolized Apollonian will. This interplay allowed the Greeks to confront the void with artful defiance. For Nietzsche, Richard Wagner's reinterpretation of Germanic myths marked the zenith of this tragic spirit. Just as Socrates, in the twilight of the Greek world, had undermined tragedy with rationality and moral idealism, Wagner offered a counterpoint. His music, imbued with Dionysian vitality, promised to restore tragedy's redemptive power in modern times. Nietzsche saw Wagner's work as a response to the rationalism of French thought, represented by the Socratic spirit. In a world where logic had reached the limits of knowledge, art became essential. It offered the illusions necessary to endure life's horror and embrace its mysteries. In this sense, Germany, through its philosophers, musicians, and soldiers, was poised to reinvigorate the intellectual and spiritual universe. Nietzsche's vision during this period was one of cultural and philosophical transformation. He believed that by rediscovering tragedy, Germany could offer humanity a way to confront its existential despair and glimpse the sublime. Through the union of Dionysian chaos and Apollonian order, Nietzsche envisioned a world capable of transcendent nihilism, where art would lead the way in affirming life amid the abyss.